Hello and welcome to episode 96. Man, can you believe we've made it all the way to 96? The Mikko Rantanen episode. One of my
Wow.
favorite current players in Dallas sports, of course. I went to game 7 against the Colorado Avalanche where he had a hat trick by himself in the third period to lift us over his former team. One of the most magical sports moments of my life. So I still need to get myself a Mikko Rantanen jersey, but great guy, great episode. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing great, TJ. Glad to be back on the podcast. I know you are very busy, as am I, but glad to be back on. And the Cowboys are keeping us alive. They are keeping us alive somehow because some of these other teams, like the Mavs, at least the Stars are playing well, sitting at, I think, like 17 wins so far this year. But yeah, the Mavs heating up at least. Two straight good wins, I guess.
Well,
Cowboys.
there's some positives to the Mavericks right now, at least.
Yeah, at least. But the Cowboys, man, I can't wait to dive into this because I don't think either one of us had this expected because we were talking about you got to win these games coming up against the Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions. Who knows? They may win all three.
Oh yeah, it's been one hell of a week for the Cowboys. I mean,
Wow.
playing the Lions tonight, at least when this episode is released. We're filming this on the Wednesday, the day before the Lions game, but we'll upload it on Thursday because we do every podcast every Thursday at 11 a.m. If you want to tune in live, we do premieres on YouTube. But yeah, we're going to talk plenty about the Dallas Cowboys, a little bit about the Mavs and the Stars as well. But, you know, like you were saying, the spotlight right now in Dallas sports is definitely on the star right now in Arlington, shining on Jerry's world. Because man, what a week! Two big wins against the Super Bowl teams, the Eagles first, and then of course the Chiefs. Both of them being neck and neck games, kind of, and the Cowboys being able to pull through. I mean, Joe, now they're sitting at 6-5-1. And of course, this is the year that the NFC has decided to be ultra competitive. I mean, the NFC is always ultra competitive, but right now I believe the seventh seed is the 49ers and they're at like 9-4, or is it
Yeah.
the Packers? The Packers are the sixth seed, I believe. Um, so
Um,
it's crazy. They basically have to go perfect for the rest of the season. This game against Detroit, do you consider this a must-win game?
Absolutely. Absolutely a must-win game. I don't know if Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be clear for this game. I haven't seen any updates too much on him, but they said he was probably going to be a 1 to 2 weeks based off that Thanksgiving injury he has.
Hmm.
They'll probably wait till near kickoff on him. But if he is out this game, also their best corner, Terry Arnold, will be out this game. That's for certain. That's huge for the Cowboys offense. They have zero excuse this game, by the way. Zero. The pass defense of the Lions is their best aspect of their defense, but overall, their defense is nothing else to really be scared about. This Cowboys offense showing that they can go against the Philadelphia Eagles, a top five defense, and a Kansas City defense, also a top 10 defense. No excuse against this Lions defense at all. But the question will be, what can this Cowboys defense do? You're not going to face Patrick Mahomes every week. You're not going to face a guy who is not turning the ball over a lot like Jalen Hurts every week. So I think that going against a guy like Jared Goff, who dominated this team last year, mind you, dominated last year,
Hmm.
the threat of him at least not uh, being a play extender on his legs is a huge thing to watch. Because if Amon-Ra St. Brown is not playing, it's a whole different ball game. Jamison Williams is a really good player, but there are some times where he can ghost. As you can see, if you're a fantasy player, you know sometimes how he won't even have some targets. And you're like, how is this possible? Well, maybe it's the Jahmyr Gibbs show. Maybe it's him getting 25 carries, ripping off a big one. He has been their best player this year for certain. And a pick that I thought was insane has turned out to be a blessing for them back from Alabama. Everybody thought he was, getting reached on. And you look at what he is doing this year for the Detroit Lions, just having like a 50-point game in fantasy a few nights ago or a few weeks ago.
Same.
I mean, the guy is putting on a clinic. Once he gets that corner and he turns on you, it may be over, and it more than likely will be with his speed. So I think that it is must win for the Cowboys. This is a Lions team that has severely regressed from last year. 15-win team last season and couldn't make the championship game in the conference. This is a team that has fallen off since Ben Johnson has left, and now they've had to resort to Dan Campbell calling plays, which he hasn't been terrible at. He hasn't been bad at. For people thinking that he's a meathead and that he has no intelligence, he has done much better, I think, than Morton, their previous OC that replaced Campbell. So I think they're going to have some tricks up their sleeve for sure, like they always do against the Cowboys. It will be a hostile environment, even if it's a Thursday night. And there's some bad blood between these two teams. There's a little bit of friction based off what happened in that game still 2 years ago with Dan Skipper, their own lineman who likes to come in and and say he's the
Missed the
eligible
tripping call
eligible receiver.
earlier in the series, man. Come on.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's the game last year where they came to AT&T
Yep.
Stadium and absolutely ran the Cowboys over. One of the most humiliating losses I've ever seen the Cowboys face. So this should be a really solid game. Must win for the Cowboys without a doubt.
I know, yeah. I would say that this is definitely a must win. I mean, you mentioned Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. I mean, you mentioned Jahmyr Gibbs. I want to talk about David Montgomery as well, both of those two. The dynamic of those two, definitely, I would say, is probably the best running back crew that the Cowboys have faced this entire season. Of course, throughout the whole season, they've really struggled until these last few games post trade deadline, getting Quinn Williams, Logan Wilson. Apparently, somehow, some way, this team has kind of flipped the script with their run defense. Now, Kareem Hunt had a pretty decent game for the Kansas City Chiefs, but Saquon Barkley and of course Ashton Jeanty, the 2 games prior, had a were shut down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like, without Amon-Ra St. Brown, it's gonna be a tough run and grind game for the Lions, of course. Um, I don't know how this defense is going to respond. I think we've mentioned it multiple times that this team kind of struggles with consistency at times. And so if they're going to be able to pick up them or keep the momentum going, it's going to have to, I don't know what the Lions have other than Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, Jamison Williams. So I mean, I want to say that I have hope for this team. I want to say that I have some hope that this team doesn't give up 47 points like they did last year to the Detroit Lions. Of course, you did mention this Lions team, they're struggling now. They're back to being mediocre.
I mean, they're just
But
getting by.
yeah, they're just getting by. They're just
Beats
getting
where
by.
they were like 5 years ago. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, much, much better. Much better. Um, I mean, I don't I just feel like this game, I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about it. I just don't have a good feeling though. You know, the road, they struggle on the road. They've struggled on the road this year. Detroit, I mean, both these teams, they need the win. Who's gonna get,
Oof.
who's gonna get carry the momentum into this game? The Lions, they're pissed off. They just lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving. And I don't know, defend the home turf, 15-win season last year. This is a desperation game for them. And we did say that this was a must win for the Cowboys too. But the Cowboys just put themselves in the playoff picture just a few weeks ago. And I mean, the Lions, this is expected. They're expected to be in the playoffs. They're expected to be leading the NFC North, which is probably the toughest division in sports right now. So I just feel like the Cowboys, I don't know. I'm just not having a good, just not feeling good about this game. So
I
do
get
we
it.
have a score prediction?
Well, I'm gonna go Cowboys just a little bit. Um, I think they can at least not let Jahmyr Gibbs kill them, but he will have a good game. You have a guy who has 1,000 yards on the ground this year and 13 total touchdowns, averaging 5.8 yards a carry. I'm gonna go Cowboys here, 28, Lions 24. I think this is gonna be a really good game. Might be fireworks in the second half. I don't know if it'll be fireworks in the first half. but I think it can really turn up in the second half. I don't think either team will be down a lot. It should be back and forth in the third and fourth quarters, but I trust that the Cowboys can put points on the board, even on the road. They're 2-4 on the road, as you were saying. They've had their struggles, but I think they're heating up. They've won 30 straight. Give me Cowboys 28, Lions 24.
Yeah, and I guess to your credit about being confident on this team, this defense is getting healthier. Overshown has shown that he's going to be, that he's back and he's healthy. He's playing good.
How about Clowney?
Apparently, Clowney, how about him? Yeah. He had some great. I mean, it's almost like I remember the Mahomes sack. Just one of his sacks. Just feels like hey, if you guys can get pressure on him, Clowney's going to come in like 10 seconds later. He needs to get, he needs to get that water after every play too. He's gassed, man. I
Yeah,
know he's
he's up
tired,
there, man.
dude.
He's
That
up
guy's,
there.
oh, yeah, I
And
know.
yeah, quick shout out to Siobhan Ripple too. The rookie's been playing really good coming off injury, and he's been just dynamic and he's been necessary for this secondary that has struggled majority this year. But like you're saying, they're getting healthy and guys are getting where they need to be. I'm growing a little bit more hopeful with this defense compared to what it was a month ago. So
I was gonna lead up to Siobhan Reevil and the rumors that Diggs is about to come back, and it's just Diggs. We're good. We're good. Siobhan Reevil is here.
we're good, bro. We're good,
We're
bro.
good. Siobhan Reevil is here. And I really like that pick. I think if you don't I don't know if you remember, if you recall, but in our, Texas Student Television mock draft, NFL draft that we did last spring, I actually had Siobhan Reevil going in the first round. I was super high. I thought he was pretty I thought he was a pretty good cornerback at East Carolina. And so, you
And
know,
he could have been, but what held him back was
injuries.
injuries. He actually was a
Absolutely.
first round talent.
Yep, absolutely. And so now you see him drop to the third round. I think that the Cowboys had an absolute steal there, and I hope that he can continue that up. The Cowboys, though, this is a tough one. I do agree that it's a must win, but I think the Cowboys can still win out after this game. It's not as tough as the schedule as we thought. Sorry, it was originally going to be. The Commanders suck. Of course, they, lost Jaden Daniels and Um, just struggling all around over there in Landover. Um, but the Vikings, I believe we no, I mean I know that we play the Chargers. I'm not too worried about the Chargers at AT&T Stadium. So, I mean, they can easily win out. I don't know if they win this game. Road struggles, keeping the momentum up. This is their third game in 11 days. They're going to be tired. I'm gonna go 21 to 31 Detroit. They beat us with the run game. And
Wow.
hey, I mean, I still think that the season's on, but I don't know. This is just a tough game to evaluate for me because I do want to ride the high of the Dallas Cowboys, but I also don't want them to let me down.
Hmm.
So it's a tough one to debate. But before we kind of move on to other, sports, the Mavs and Stars, real quick, I do have a quick little, you know, w during the Philadelphia Eagles game, Dak Prescott, he surpassed Tony Romo for the most passing yards in Cowboys history.
Let me tip my cap.
Tip your cap.
Well done. Well done,
I
number
didn't
4.
even read your shirt till now, man. Yeah, it's a good shirt, man. You wearing that out in the snow all the way up there?
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
It, I've had the shirt a long time.
I know, man. Must be
Hmm.
different to be a Cowboys fan all the way up there. It must be real different.
Yeah, there's fans everywhere. So I've
That's
seen
true.
some, believe it or
That's
not.
true.
I've seen some.
But yeah, I mean, so the Cowboys, or Dak Prescott specifically, top 10 in passing yards, or sorry, surpassed Tony Romo in passing yards for the Cowboys, all time leaderboard. So my question to you is that I want to know if you know who are the top 10 receivers that Dak Prescott has thrown to in receiving yards
In Cowboys history
and
or in
Cowboys.
just like
Th-
if it was a guy who had tw like 10,000 yards just total.
No, I'm
Like,
talking
and he
about
played.
Dak Prescott, specifically Dak Prescott throwing to this receiver. How many, like, who has Dak Prescott thrown the most, you know, passing yards to, basically?
It's got to be okay. Number one
And I
has to
have
be.
to say real quick, number 10 is literally going to get passed up either today or next game.
Do
No
I
doubt.
have to? Do I have to go in order?
No, no.
Okay, CD,
Okay. Yeah, he's won. He's won
Cole Be
5,555.
Cole Beasley,
Cole Beasley's number 5 at 1,819.
Amari Cooper,
Mark Cooper's number 3, 3,081.
Dez,
Dez
maybe.
is number 9, believe it or not,
Wow. Okay.
1,634.
Ooh,
He only played 29 games with Dez.
I don't think Witten's on there. I really don't. Maybe Witten's number 10.
You think Wynn's number 10?
He only
Witten is number
played.
6 at
Wow.
1,762. You know Dak loves his tight ends.
Witten was still putting up numbers in Dak's career like that. Uh,
195 receptions.
let me see. Let me see. Who else? Who else? Who else? Um,
So what, you got 5?
yeah, 4 or 5, I think.
You're missing
Let me see.
2, 4, 7, 8, and 10.
Two, four. I mean, Pickens can't already be there, right? He can't
So
already be
that's what I was going to say. Pickens is number
there.
11. He's about to pass number 10. He's 38 yards away from passing them.
Oh my
So he's
God.
technically number 10, but he's
Uh,
not yet.
I wonder where Zeke is. Is Zeke on that list at all?
Zeke is number 4 at
Wow.
2,153. Got to pass those screens, man.
Some of
Pass
those screens
screens and
used to be
checkdowns.
insane. Used to be insane with Zeke in the backfield. Um,
Surprised you haven't gotten number 2 yet, man.
Number two? Oh my
This
God.
guy, dude,
Is there any
Cowboys
Terrence?
Nation. What did you say?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, Cowboys Nation, man. They are influctuated with number 2, man. They think about him all the time,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
About him all the time. Huh. Oh my God. Think about him all the time?
I always see edits about him.
I mean, I already said CD, right?
No, I mean you did say CD. CD's number 1.
You always see edits about him. Can I
Always on
get a
TikTok, man.
can I get a range
A range.
when his playing career?
It was like 2020, I would say his prime year was like 2018.
Oh my God, 2018. Let me think. I already said Amari. I already said. Is there any the quarterback that used to throw the receiver used to throw like the fake passes? Why am I forgetting his name? He
Fake
used to be
passes.
Yeah, we used to have him in. He went to the Dolphins eventually, I think. But Cedric
Oh,
Wilson? Any Cedric Wilson?
Cedric Wilson is not on, he is number 17 on this list.
Ah, oh my God. I see
Let's
it.
work our way up. All right, number 10. All right. This guy's 2016. All right.
Oh my God. Why am I getting old, bro? I can't remember these names anymore.
No, I mean I
2016.
put you on the spot, man. It's all right.
2016.
We know you know this.
I already said Beasley. I already said Witten. I already said Dez. Uh, oh my God. Terrence Williams?
Terrence Williams. There you go.
Bang!
1,180 at
I
number
used to love
10,
that
Terrence
celebration.
Williams.
I
All
used to
right, you
love
got
that
9 with Des
celebration.
Bryant. Number
How is
8,
Terry?
number
How
8.
is he still top 10? That is crazy.
It is pretty crazy. He has 99 receptions with him. He just, I mean, well, George Pickens is literally about to pass him. So, uh,
Is there any Brandon Cooks on the list?
Brandon Cooks, good guess, number 16 on the list, 748. You're missing,
Oh,
I feel like this might give it away, but you're missing 2 tight ends.
two tight ends.
Yep, at 7 and 8.
I mean, Ferguson is not already on the list, right?
Ferguson is number 7 on the list at
Are you kidding me?
1,705 yards.
Bro, I underestimated him. I thought he was definitely outside the top 10.
Oh, dude.
I thought they just started feeding him really this year.
Dak. Loves Jake Ferguson,
I
man.
always thought like they could have fed him more like they do this year. Another tight end.
This is the
Well,
most games played for any tight end with in Dak Prescott's history at number 8. He's played
what the,
60
oh,
games with
Schultz.
Dak.
Okay, Schultz.
Dalton
Okay.
Schultz, number 8 at
Oh, Boo Birds.
1,703. The
Dalton
Boo Birds.
Schultz.
So now you got all of them. You just don't have number 2.
Why am I forgetting number two, bro? Like
This is tough.
I
This could be turned into a TikTok edit, dude.
I know
We're
I
like,
know this.
this is how forgotten he's already is. He was a legend.
You mean this sarcastically, or he's like a legit a legend?
Oh, I mean, he was a great receiver. He just got hurt. Sorry, I apologize. I'm also a little I got a little
What the
cough bug.
hell?
He
Oh
he
my
was
God.
legendary. He just had some injuries.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah, put you on the spot, man. This is tough.
Number two. You said his best year was
He was a
2018.
big deep threat. Big deep threat. Always
Oh
running
my.
the go route.
Oh my God.
Can I
Oh, I
interest you in the
yes.
name of Michael Gallup?
Oh, I feel terrible. Colorado State Ram. I'm sorry, Gallup. I'm so sorry, man. I did mean that. Oh my God.
3,163 receiving yards from Dak Prescott,
Man, I
number
used to
2 on
love
the list.
Gallup. I loved your Tony toe taps, man. That's on me.
I told you
That's
he
on
was a
me.
legend. People think about
That's
him all
on
the
me.
time. It's like, man, what a career wasted. He could have been so good.
Oh, poor guy. I didn't mean that. You know that, Michael. Come on.
No,
You know
no.
I didn't mean that,
Hey,
man.
I put you on the spot, man. Michael
Col
understands, all right.
Colorado State Ram. He was great, man. I loved him.
I knew he was from one of the Colorado schools. I forgot if it was Colorado State or just Boulder, but I would
Bro.
imagine it wasn't Boulder because they didn't really have many people coming into the league from
Until
10 or
George
so years
Pickens.
ago. What's
Until
up?
George Pickens, until Pickens, there was not a lot of Cowboys receivers I had confidence in if our quarterback were to throw a fade route. It's only been Pickens, Dez, and probably Gallup. Some of
Hey,
these routes that he knew how to play one on one in the red zone.
absolutely.
My goodness.
That guy
Michael
was
Gallup.
a man. He was able to snatch just about anything. So, yeah, I mean, hey, that's the top 10. George Pickens at 11, Tony Pollard at 12, Randall Cobb at 13, Jalen Tolbert
Randall Cobb at
at
13.
14,
My
if you believe
goodness,
it or not.
Tolbert.
Blake Jarwin at 15.
That's a guy I
Another
wish
tight end.
if he could have stayed healthy. I really thought he was good.
Blake Jarwin was great, dude. That guy had some great games against the New York Giants. That's what I remember.
He
That
has
guy
some
was
speed too
always
for a
killing
tight
it.
end.
Oh yeah. No,
Oklahoma
he was an
State.
athletic guy. So, anyways, we're gonna move on to the Dallas Mavericks, who are currently riding a 2-game winning streak and two impressive wins, to be honest. I know the Clippers kind of suck, but I mean, any win's an impressive win for the Mavericks right about now. And they beat the Los Angeles Clippers, went on to Denver, and kept it neck and neck and pulled away in the fourth quarter. What is this team? I always thought that they were the team that would lose in the fourth quarter. That's this whole season. That's the whole story, other than, of course, injuries and the Nico Harrison firing and all the other, you know, crap that's been going on this season. The main thing that's been going on the court is that they can't win in clutch situations. They went on to Denver, absolutely locked them up. I believe Denver missed like 11 consecutive shots at the end of the fourth quarter, and the Mavericks pulled away. And I don't know. I don't want to say anything, but maybe we're turning a new leaf with Ryan Nembhard at point guard.
Hey, I would love it. I would love it if that's the case. But this is how the season goes sometimes. It can be up and down. Definitely did not expect them to win that Nuggets game. I'm telling you right now, did not see that coming. That was a shocker to me. It's a shame it's a shocker because it was not that crazy back in the Luka era, as we all know. But Cooper Flag just continues to get better. I'm glad to see Anthony Davis back in the lineup in these last few games because you've been seeing these rumors swirling of him possibly being traded off. I don't know how much time left he has with this organization, but the way he's playing right now, solid effort in this comeback victory, or at least a way to close out Denver with 32 points. What a game it was. and that's a positive sign. I don't know how much this organization is reading into that to that victory, but they're getting healthier in this lineup. I don't know how much they think, you know, okay, this is a good sign for the lineup, and if all we need is just Kyrie back in January, February, and we'll be set. I don't know how much they're reading into this win, but as a fan, a lifelong fan, as someone who's just trying to analyze this team, this is a really solid win for sure. And like you were saying, just last week, finding ways to not win these clutch matchups was something that's very concerning. Last week couldn't close out the Heat. PJ Washington taking the last shots and not making it, and Cooper Flag not getting the ball last when we thought he was the right guy to have the ball in the final, minute or so in the ball game.
Hmm.
Um, Really surprised by how Nemhard was playing. I did not expect a 28-point effort against the Denver Nuggets. That is something, and shooting efficiently. Only missed two shots. I mean, 12 of 14 from the field is just absolutely insane. What a game this was for this team. Nemhard knows how to handle the rock. He knows how to dish it out. 10 assists as he also had, doing what he did in college as the NCAA assist leader per game. And that's why they drafted him because they thought he could handle the ball and dish it out. Props to the scouting team for giving this guy a chance because it felt like the only thing that's held him back, I guess, is his height. He's like 5'11", and the average point guard today is more than likely 6'3", 6'4", maybe 6'5". He's vastly undersized on the court, but he plays with heart and can put the ball in the hoop. At the end of the day, that's all you really need in basketball. Put the ball in the hoop and can dish it out as a point guard. So really solid for this lineup. Three guys with 24 plus points in the starting lineup.
Yep.
Didn't think that could happen for this lineup, to say the
D-
least.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we have had two consecutive games now. Of course, we don't know the outcome to Miami, so we're not counting that game. But counting LA and Denver as the last two games, two consecutive games now where we've had a player score over 30 points. Now, we have not had a player score over 30 points since November 8th. And we have only had a player score over 30 points in a game twice this season. And that is D'Angelo Russell and Najee Marshall. So Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis going back to back. Both of them, Flag growing into his role, getting more comfortable as we can see. And Anthony Davis coming back from injury, you know, we got some scorers now. We didn't have that. And that's what's been struggling a lot, other than, of course, clutch situations and bad defense and basically everything else on the court. They just did not have a person that they could go and rely to score. And now, if Anthony Davis, I don't, Anthony Davis is basically the if man of NBA basketball. It is just if he stays healthy, if he stays healthy. He's not going to stay healthy. But when he's on the court, God, he is so good. He is really good.
Hall of
A
Famer.
lot of fun to watch. Hall of Famer. I mean, not as fun as Luca, of course. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to mention his name anymore on this podcast, but he is still a
Censor
really
it.
fun player to watch and a dominant, dominant player. So I mean, 35 from Flag, 32 from Anthony Davis, and the support, Nimhard. It doesn't even have to be Nimhard. If PJ Washington or someone who can just go over 20 points, Cooper Flag gets that 24 that he just got against Denver. And then of course you have that supporting cast, the depth that you're supposed to have on this roster that everyone's been so high about. Players like Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson can go out there like he did against Denver and score 15 points and go 3 for 5 from three, then you're dead set on being a very competitive team. But that's just not going to happen a lot. So, I mean, enjoy the wins when we can. I still think that this team should try to tank. Um, and sorry to ruin all the fun from the Mavs, but I think
Jesus.
that they will be, you know, when they're healthy, they're a great team, but that's not a win. That's never going to happen. We're worried, we don't have Derek Lively anymore, probably for the rest of the season at this point. I wouldn't be surprised. Kyrie Irving's been out. Um, and Anthony Davis eventually is going to get hurt again. Unfortunately, I'll knock on wood and pray that he
Damn.
doesn't, of course. I'm not, wishing on it, but it's just what history says. And so, yeah, I mean, Do you have anything else to say about the Mavericks?
I wish them luck.
You wish them luck.
This is an interesting schedule coming up.
I wish them
Uh,
luck in the lottery in a few months. That's what I wish them, man.
you got OKC coming up, a game that used to be, watchable in a way. You felt like it was going to be fireworks, and pretty much all the guys that caused fireworks in that team almost are gone, I guess. PJ's still there. Um,
PJ's the main Thunder killer,
he's
man.
the main Thunder killer, but yeah, no more Luka Doncic against OKC, which was always fun to watch, but you get to rebound and see if you can actually close out Miami in this next matchup. Actually, we won't get to it. Already happened by the time this episode's up, but this Miami matchup you couldn't close out last week. See if you can right a few wrongs here. Build yourself a streak. Who knows? Who knows? So, plenty of time left in the season for these guys. Again, I'm not reading in too much with this game, but it was a great game they played against Denver, which I did not expect.
Absolutely did not expect either. They have a pretty difficult December schedule. Teams like Oklahoma City on the road, and then back to back, going back to Dallas the next day and playing Houston, having to play Detroit, having to play Denver again on the 23rd, and then playing at Golden State on the 25th. Decently tough schedule, a lot of games on the road, which they had. I mean, every single time I swear I was, having trouble following the Mavericks in November. I was busy schedule and just, being honest, not too interested. And it's just like, geez, man, another home game? How many times have they played at home? It's crazy how much, but um, yeah, they're finally starting to get on the road, finally starting to get those road trips going. We'll see how they can play on the road. We'll see if they can maintain their competitiveness from these last two games throughout this month. And, maybe again, they're only a game and a half away from the play-in. So if you want them to compete, which I have no issue of that. I still think that they should tank, but if you want them to compete, no issue at all. They still are, in the picture, I guess. Or they can get themselves in the picture pretty easily.
Hmm.
So, moving on to the Dallas Stars, they are currently in a New York state of mind. I guess they're about to go to Jersey, about to go to Jersey,
Jersey, baby.
play the Devils. Still don't understand how that's a name. I don't know if I would be
A devil.
I don't know if I would be rooting for a team called the Devils, but
Needs to add a color in front of
that's
it,
just
maybe. I don't know, like Duke.
yeah, you gotta get the Blue Devils but they're just red. They're just Devils,
That's the devil. They're flying. They're not even
They're
hiding
not
it
the Sun
anymore.
Devils, they're not the Blue Devils, they're
Not
just
even hiding
Devils.
it anymore.
No, I know. It's crazy. And this is the one team that the Stars, well, actually, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They lost to the Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals a few years back, but going back all the way to 2000, the year 2000 is when the New Jersey Devils came into the Reunion Arena and took the Stanley Cup away from the defending champs, the Stars. So there's always been a little bit of bad blood between the two. Um, I think that the Stars, pleasantly surprised with this last, not, I wouldn't say surprised, just pleasantly, uh, happy, pleasantly pleasant about the last week for the Stars. They've been playing great. They've been dealing with some major injuries, I sorry, Thomas Harley, Matt Duchene, all still out. And they've been having people come up, people have been coming up, Bastion, one of them that I could think of, that have kind of become ultimate, came in and just immediately have been game changers, putting their name on the scoreboard, you know, being impactful players. And I think that the Stars are, I believe they're second in the league right now, points wise, only behind Colorado. I know that they just lost in overtime to the Rangers, kind of a shocker there. They seemed like they had a good chance of winning that game. But you know, you win some, you lose some, get a point in that, not too disappointed in the end. But this team's, they're a well-oiled machine. They've shown that in the last few years. They're a competitive team. I don't know what's going to be the difference this year. To maybe try to finally get them over that Western Conference Finals hump that they have failed to do. Um, maybe it's the physicality. They're a lot more physical this year under Glenn Gulutzon, so I'm a big fan of that. I think that that's one of the things that the Stars have always struggled with, especially with teams that are, faster, and definitely more physical, in the playoffs, which I think of Edmonton, obviously, the team that's kind of held them from making it to the Stanley Cup Finals these last 2 years. So, um, I like the physicality. I think that this team right now is in a good stretch. They're in a good position. The Central Division has been very tough this year. Teams have been staying competitive. The Mammoth are doing pretty good this year. Not, not very good, but better than they usually are. And the Wild have had a pretty decent season. Of course, the Avalanche are just on one. That's going to be a scary one. That's going to be a scary one. You scared about the Avalanche at all? Sorry, I've been talking my head off.
I mean, of
I'm
course.
gonna give you some talk.
Of course I'm scared of the Avalanche just because how the season McKinnon's having right now. Um, Absolutely playing out of his mind. But I know how the Stars play against the Avalanche at the end of the day. And, they're not afraid of them. They're not going to back down. You're going to get a game. So just knowing that you're playing against a really dominant player, that's the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause. But as far as the Avalanche are concerned, see me in April. See me way
See me
down
in April.
see me down the line. I
Hey, I
think this
mean,
is fine.
honestly, I always get the I get Cal McCarr came out in the offseason and said that the NHL seeding for the playoffs has to just be number 1 through 8 per conference,
Like the
like the
NBA.
NBA, yeah. Um, you know, kind of agree with that. It's kind of basically just the fact that it's like, well, the Stars and Avalanche need to stop playing in the first or second round, every single year. But I mean, I don't know. It's definitely can see both sides of the argument because at the same time, the Stars, if it was 1 through 8, I believe they would have played the Edmonton Oilers in the first round last year. So
But
I
you
think that
see, like the reason I don't like that argument, that's what's killed some rivalries in the NBA. Like you used to look forward to who's in your division because of what it meant for divisional implications and but like that's why the NFL like remains so successful in that divisional games still matter. Like
mhm.
you could possibly not even tell me like an NBA division's name right now. Like except like the Southwest Conference where the Mavs are in, but like and so I think that's where the NBA has fallen off a little bit is that rivalries have had a little bit less meaning. Every now and then you'll see Sixers Celtics history being shown on the broadcast. You'll see, Mavs Thunder as some kind of current rivalry, which is very new. There is some bad blood here and there. But as far as what Celtics and um, Lakers used to mean, that was like the one non-conference rivalry that I guess still kind of exists today. But these divisional matchups just don't matter to the NBA a lot because of this change of the format, the outright 1 through 8. I can't hate it because it's strictly merit-based. There's no divisional winner going straight into a playoff spot, like the NFL, but I think that's what helps the NFL, honestly. So if the NHL went to that, I hope it wouldn't hurt them. But I feel like that's what would happen if the NHL did that, based off what the NBA has done. The rivalries just don't have that same feel to them after divisional matchups have no play into how the seeding is set up in the playoffs.
And I like that argument, I think that rivalries are important, especially in hockey. And I see both sides to the argument. A lot of the times with this divisional, or at least the playoff seeding that the NHL has, you kind of have, maybe the two best teams playing in the first or second round instead of the Western Conference Finals. There's no guarantee, or the Eastern Conference Finals, whatever you want to say. There's no guarantee that in the conference finals you're going to have the two best teams because who knows if they've already battled it out earlier in the postseason. But I mean, the rivalries, in the divisions, I think that it's important. If you win your division, you deserve to be at top of your division. I know that it's a little bit different when it comes to the NHL. The all of the central divisions kind of put in the one part of the bracket, and all of the Pacific divisions put in a different part of the bracket, and you have some wild card teams mixed in the either. But I mean, it's important to keep divisions important in sports. I think that if you win a collective, if you are the best team out of a collective group of teams that have all played the same schedule, then you deserve to have a position in the playoffs at college football playoffs. It should have never been 12 teams in the first place. All right.
Should have
Should have
been 8 in my
never.
opinion.
Every
Never
single
been
time.
12.
Make it all conference winners. You win your conference championship, you make it to the playoffs. That's literally how it should be in the first place. I mean, why do we make conference championships not important anymore? Just do that, please. And then put some wild card teams in there. Make it 8 teams instead of 12, but we know you want the money. So unfortunately, college football's shot right now. But I think that the divisions are important. I think divisions are important, and I don't mind the playoff seeding for the NHL.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. Episode 96, the Mikko Rantanen episode. Good way to end it, talking about the Avs and Stars, and it's all the Mikko Rantanen episode anyway. So, um, if you want to follow us, you can, look for our channel on YouTube or Spotify, whichever one you're watching at. You can like, subscribe, share. We appreciate all the interaction that we get, even comment. You can all follow us on those, YouTube or Spotify at 214 Sports Show. And then also, or I'm sorry, it's at the 214 Sports Show. I apologize. We have all the links below in the description. You can see all of our handles right there below us. And yeah, you could also follow us on Instagram, X, and also TikTok at 214 Sports Show, where we post additional content on today's dates, polls, a bunch of extra content that I think you'd enjoy. And so, yeah, follow us there. Joe, what's your socials?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and X at Joseph underscore Duffy 99. You can also follow me on TikTok at Joe underscore Duffy.
All right. And then you can follow me on X at TJ underscore Krilowicz and on Instagram at TJ dot Krilowicz. All right. You have a great rest of your week to all the viewers out there. We appreciate you joining us for episode 96. We'll see you next week for episode 97.